Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, we gather today in the presence of God to understand a profound truth about life, relationships, and the role of men in our lives. It's a truth that many ignore, yet it stands as a testimony to our humanity. Men feel the loss only after you're gone. I'm not just talking about physical absence, but the absence of love, care, and the things we take for granted. Too many times we've overlooked the significance of the people in our lives until it's too late. Today we'll uncover 6 powerful truths about the importance of presence, perspective, and the preciousness of time. Presence is more than just being physically in the same space as someone else. It's a force that resonates on a deeper, more intimate level. It's a commitment to being emotionally and spiritually available, not just when it's convenient, but when it truly counts. Too often we confuse presence with proximity. You can be in the same room with someone, yet still feel a vast distance between you, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. True presence requires intention, focus, and an openness to truly connect with the people around you. For men especially, presence is vital. Many times they are consumed by their roles as providers, protectors, or leaders, which can create an unspoken distance. They're busy, focused on the task at hand, and often unaware of the needs of those closest to them. They believe that their hard work and dedication will speak louder than any words or actions. But what they don't realize is that while their work may secure the future, their absence, whether emotional, physical, or spiritual, can leave a void in the hearts of their loved ones. Presence means being there when your loved ones need you the most. It's more than just showing up for important events. It's being present in the everyday moments when no one else may be looking. It's the simple act of listening, giving someone your undivided attention when they speak, making them feel valued, understood, and seen. For men, this can often be a challenge, especially when they've been conditioned to focus on action rather than connection. Yet, there is incredible power in making the choice to show up, not just physically, but with your heart and mind fully engaged. When a man is present in a relationship, it shows the people around him that they matter. It says, I see you, I value you, you are important to me. In those moments of presence, bonds are formed, trust is built, and love is nurtured. It's a quiet, consistent way of affirming others and letting them know they are not alone. You don't have to say much to make an impact. Sometimes, just being there, standing beside someone in their moment of need is enough. Yet, too often, men overlook the power of presence until it's no longer there. They think they have time, that their loved ones will always be around, and that their efforts will suffice. But the truth is, when you're gone, whether in body or spirit, that absence is deeply felt. The emptiness left behind is not just in the physical space, but in the hearts of those who long for the moments that once were. The words you never said, the time you never spent, it all adds up. And once they're gone, it's no longer possible to make up for lost moments. That's why presence is so powerful. It's not just about being with someone in the moment. It's about creating memories, building trust, and showing love in ways that words can't fully express. Men, take time to be present. Put down your distractions. Step away from your work when you can. Let the people you love feel the depth of your care and commitment. Don't wait until it's too late to realize how much they needed you there. The impact of your presence will last long after you've gone, and it will be felt in ways that words cannot measure. Men often carry a heavy burden in silence, a burden of strength, responsibility, and the expectation to be unshakable. From a young age, many are taught that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, something to be avoided at all costs. Instead, they are encouraged to put on a mask of invulnerability, to stand tall, and to carry their emotions deep inside. The pressure to remain stoic and composed is pervasive, and it creates an environment where emotional expression is often seen as a flaw rather than a human need. Yet, beneath the surface, men feel the weight of their struggles just as deeply as anyone else. They experience pain, heartbreak, fear, and insecurity, but they are conditioned to keep these feelings hidden. They fear judgment or ridicule for showing their true selves, so they bottle up their emotions, pushing them into the corners of their hearts and minds. In doing so, they sometimes create an emotional fortress that keeps others at a distance, and even worse, It keeps their own feelings locked away. This is not to say that men don't experience moments of tenderness, but their vulnerability is often tightly guarded. They may hide it because they don't want to appear as if they are less capable or less competent. The idea that a man should always be the rock for others creates an internal conflict where the desire to express emotion and seek comfort is met with the fear of being perceived as weak. This emotional repression can lead to isolation and inner turmoil as men find themselves caught between the desire for connection and the fear of judgment. The truth is that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a strength. It takes courage to open up and let others see the parts of you that you keep hidden. Vulnerability is what makes us human. It allows for real connection, healing, and growth. When men are able to show their vulnerability, they open the door for deeper relationships, both with themselves and with others. Craig Matthews, at this time in his career, like in him, I have a big trick to play. You have X or have Y. They create a space where authenticity can flourish, where they can be seen not just for what they accomplish, but for who they truly are. However, it is often only when men face loss, grief, or a moment of crisis that their vulnerability breaks through the wall they built around it. In those moments, when the mask of invulnerability cracks, the reality of their emotions becomes undeniable. The pain of loss, the sting of regret, the weight of unspoken words, it all comes rushing to the surface. And in those moments, men often realize something powerful. They are not alone. Those who care for will not judge them for their vulnerability. Instead, they will meet them with compassion and understanding. This is a pivotal moment, a chance for men to step into a new reality where they no longer have to hide behind a facade of strength. It's an opportunity to embrace the truth that showing vulnerability doesn't diminish their value or worth. Rather, it enhances it. It allows for growth, deeper connections, and a sense of peace that comes from being authentic and honest with oneself. As long as men continue to suppress their vulnerability, they are living in a self-imposed prison. But when they dare to be open, to be real, they unlock a door to freedom, healing, and transformation. It's time for men to understand that they don't have to carry their burdens alone, and they don't have to hide their vulnerability to be strong. Regret is a heavy, insidious force that weighs on the soul like a burden that never truly lifts. It has a way of creeping into the mind, haunting our thoughts long after the opportunity to change has passed. It's the lingering feeling of missed chances, of words left unspoken and actions left undone. Regret doesn't just stay in the past, it casts a shadow over the present, constantly reminding us of what could have been and what we failed to do. It has the power to steal joy from the moment, making us relive our mistakes over and over, robbing us of peace and growth. For men, regret can feel even more suffocating. Men often carry a sense of responsibility, the weight of providing, protecting, and leading. They feel the constant pressure to be strong and decisive, to make the right choices, to act swiftly and with confidence. But sometimes in the rush of life, the right decision isn't made. Sometimes things are said in haste or opportunities are missed because they were not fully recognized. In those moments, regret quietly steps in and begins to fester, growing heavier with time. Regret is not just about the big obvious things that we can point to and say, I made a mistake there. It's also the smaller moments, the words you didn't say when someone needed to hear them, the time you didn't spend with a loved one when you had the chance, the things you put off because you thought there would be another opportunity. These small regrets can accumulate, weighing us down bit by bit until they create an emotional weight that feels impossible to shake. One of the hardest aspects of regret is that it's not always something that can be fixed. Once a moment has passed, once a word has been spoken, once a decision has been made, there's no undoing it. The feeling of I should have done this or I should have said that doesn't disappear with time. In fact, it often grows more painful as time passes because the realization sets in that the chance to right the wrong is no longer available. What we are left with is a haunting sense of what if that echoes through our minds, always reminding us of our imperfections. Regret can also prevent men from fully moving forward. It becomes a weight that they carry into every new relationship, every new opportunity, every new chapter in life. They may hesitate to act, fearing they'll make a They'll make another mistake or miss another chance. The fear of regret can paralyze them, preventing growth and progress. Instead of learning from their past mistakes and using them as stepping stones, they become trapped in the cycle of self-blame and sorrow. However, the truth is that regret, while painful, can also be a teacher. It shows us where we went wrong and points us in the direction of growth. It teaches us to value the moments we have and to be more mindful of how we spend our time and energy. Regret can push us to become better, to do better, and to be more present in the lives of the people we love. But it can only do so if we are willing to learn from it rather than be consumed by it. The key to freeing oneself from the weight of regret is to accept that while we cannot change the past, we can shape the future. We may never be able to erase the feeling of what if, but we can ensure that we don't allow it to define us. We must choose to move forward with a sense of purpose, embracing the lessons of regret while letting go of its hold on our hearts. Only then can we experience true peace, knowing that the choices we make today can create a future where regret no longer has a place to dwell. Women have always played an indispensable role in men's lives, often in ways that go beyond the obvious. While society may have historically relegated women to certain roles, the truth is that women have always been the emotional, moral, and psychological anchors in the lives of men. They are not just partners or caregivers, but fundamental sources of support, inspiration, and balance. The relationship between men and women is symbiotic, each providing something the other needs, sometimes without even realizing the depth of the impact. At the heart of this dynamic is the emotional labor that women often take on. Men may not always express it openly, but they depend on the emotional stability that women bring into their lives. Women offer a space where men can be vulnerable, where they can show the softer side of their personalities without fear of judgment. This vulnerability is something that is often stifled in the outside world, where men are expected to be strong, stoic, and impenetrable. But within the safe haven of a loving relationship with a woman, men find an opportunity to express their feelings, seek comfort, and heal from emotional wounds. Without this support, men can easily feel isolated, unable to navigate the complexities of their emotions. Women also provide balance. Men are often driven by ambition, by the need to conquer, to achieve, and to provide. While these are important qualities, they can sometimes lead to a singular focus on success and material accomplishments, leaving little room for reflection or emotional connection. Women by nature tend to bring perspective. They often encourage men to consider the bigger picture, the value of relationships, the importance of compassion, and the significance of emotional well-being. Their nurturing instinct can serve as a reminder to men that life is about more than just achieving goals or accumulating wealth. It's about love, connection, and legacy. Moreover, women serve as mirrors to men, reflecting back to them qualities and behaviors they may not always see in themselves. A woman can show a man his strengths in ways that he may have overlooked, lifting him up when he doubts his own abilities. At the same time, women can point out his flaws and weaknesses, but they do so in ways that encourage growth rather than shame. A woman's perspective, when delivered with love and care, can help a man grow into the best version of himself. One that is emotionally intelligent, kind, and self-aware. In the context of family, women are often the emotional glue that holds everything together. They manage the home, care for the children, and create an environment that fosters love and support. For many men, the woman in their life, whether it be a mother, wife, or sister, is the person who provides the foundation for their sense of security. This sense of stability allows them to venture into the world with confidence, knowing they have a solid support system to return to. Unfortunately, many men only come to fully understand the depth of the role women play in their lives once that woman is no longer there. It's only in the absence of their emotional support, guidance, and love that the void becomes glaringly clear. At that point, men are left to grapple with the reality of how much they depended on the nurturing and strength of the women in their lives. The role of women in men's lives is truly irreplaceable. They are not just there to fill a role. They are there to enrich, challenge, support, and inspire. When a man truly understands and appreciates the importance of the women around him, his life is fuller, richer, and more meaningful. It is through the relationships with women that men find the opportunity to thrive emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Without them, the journey of life would be far less complete. Time is one of the few things in life that we cannot control, and yet it is the most precious resource we have. Once it passes, there is no getting it back. The clock ticks relentlessly, and with every second that slips away, we lose a moment we will never recover. For this reason, time should be treated as the limited, valuable resource it truly is. Too often we take time for granted, assuming that we have an infinite amount of it. We think there will always be another opportunity, another day, or another chance to make things right. But the reality is that time waits for no one, and it is always slipping away, whether we notice it or not. For many, the pressures of life, work, responsibilities, and obligations can make it difficult to prioritize the things that matter most. We become so consumed with our goals, our ambitions, and the daily grind that we fail to recognize the importance of the moments we're living in. We may spend hours, days, or even years chasing success, only to look back and realize that we missed the opportunity to truly live in the present. The time spent with loved ones, the time to reflect and appreciate the beauty of life, and the time to nurture our own well-being are often pushed aside in favor of what seems urgent in the moment. But those moments of connection and self-care are the ones that bring the deepest fulfillment, and when they are lost, they cannot be regained. Time is limited not just in terms of our individual lives, but also in how we share it with others. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or romantic partners, thrive on quality time. When we neglect the people we care about, thinking we have all the time in the world to make it right, we are doing them a disservice. We assume that there will always be another moment to say, I love you, or I'm sorry, or I appreciate you. But those opportunities don't always present themselves. Sometimes a person is gone and we are left with the regret of not having spent more time with them or made them feel valued while they were here. Moreover, time is limited in the sense that our opportunities to grow and change are finite. We often put off personal development or growth, thinking that we can always improve tomorrow, next week, or next year. But the truth is that every moment we waste in stagnation is a moment we could have spent moving closer to our goals, becoming a difference in the world around us, or becoming a difference in the world around us. Procrastination robs us not only of success, but of the chance to live a life of meaning and fulfillment. If we are constantly waiting for the right time to act, we may find ourselves running out of time altogether. There is an undeniable urgency in the awareness that time is limited. It encourages us to take action, to make the most of every moment, and to focus on what truly matters. It teaches us the importance of living intentionally, whether that means spending time with loved ones, pursuing our passions, or simply being present in the here and now. We are reminded that time is a gift, one that we cannot afford to squander. Ultimately, time is a reminder that life is fragile and fleeting. It calls us to embrace every moment with gratitude, to be intentional in our actions, and to cherish the time we have with those we love. By recognizing the limitations of time, we can make more conscious decisions, prioritize what truly matters, and live with a sense of urgency and purpose. Time is finite, but how we choose to spend it determines the richness of the life we create. So let us live fully, love deeply, and make every moment count. The call to action is a powerful invitation to step out of complacency and into purpose. It is a summons to rise above the ordinary, to take charge of one's life, and to make a difference. In every life, there are moments, critical junctures, when we are faced with a choice to remain where we are or to take bold, decisive action towards something greater. These moments may not always come with fanfare, but they are significant nonetheless, as they mark the crossroads between inertia and transformation. Action is the catalyst for change. Without it, dreams remain dormant, goals are never pursued, and potential goes untapped. A call to action compels us to move forward, to leave behind the comfort of the known and venture into the unfamiliar. It asks us to embrace risk, to confront fear, and to believe in the possibility of what could be. But taking action requires more than just a desire for change. It requires the courage to take that first step, to begin the journey even when the path is unclear. Too often we become paralyzed by doubt, overwhelmed by the enormity of what lies ahead. We overthink and delay, convinced that we are not ready, that we need more time, or that the perfect conditions have yet to align. The truth is, the perfect moment will never come. There will always be obstacles, uncertainties, and challenges along the way. The key is not waiting for everything to be perfect, but learning to move despite the imperfection. The call to action is not about waiting for the right time, but rather about creating the time by making decisions and taking steps, no matter how small, toward progress. When we answer the call to action, we set things in motion. Every small decision, every small step compounds over time. As we continue to act, we gain momentum. We begin to learn, grow, and evolve, and our initial uncertainties turn into newfound strengths. Inaction, on the other hand, keeps us trapped in a state of indecision, where nothing changes and nothing is accomplished. The longer we hesitate, the more distant our goals seem. But action has a way of clarifying things, of bringing us closer to what we desire. It shifts us from a place of contemplation to one of creation. The call to action is not limited to personal goals. It can also extend to the world around us. Every day there are opportunities to make an impact, to contribute to the lives of others, and to leave a positive mark on the world. It can be as simple as offering a helping hand to someone in need or speaking out for a cause that requires attention. Each act of service, no matter how small, is a form of action that ripples out into the world and creates change. The call to action invites us to see ourselves not just as passive recipients of life circumstances, but as active participants in shaping the world around us. Taking action also means taking responsibility. It requires ownership of our choices, our actions, and our outcomes. The call to action challenges us to stop waiting for others to make things happen for us. It reminds us that we hold the power to create the life we desire and to make a difference in the lives of others. It calls us to take responsibility not just for our successes, but for our failures as well, using them as stepping stones to learn and grow. In the end, the call to action is about embracing the opportunity to change. It is a challenge to rise above the ordinary and strive for the extraordinary. It is an invitation to live intentionally, to pursue our dreams with determination, and to leave a legacy that reflects the choices we've made. Life is not meant to be lived passively. It is meant to be seized, shaped, and transformed. The call to action is the first step toward that transformation. The question is, will you answer?